Den of the Wolfman, the novella prequel to the novel Wild River by Ronald M. Kimmons. Chapter 12. Bonda sat at his desk, magnifying glass in hand, and inspected the handwriting of a piece of correspondence that a client had given to him. In truth, he already had a sense of who had actually written it, but he wanted to show clearly that the handwriting did not match that of the purported author. There was a rap on the door. "Come in," said Bondas, though it was already opening anyway. The portly form of Ta'anaf Herder came in to fill the little room. "Hello again," said Bondas, gesturing to his guest chair. "Please have a seat." "Bondas!" said Ta'anaf, holding his arms out wide. "Bondas, you did it! You found him! And you didn't even come to see me!" "Well, I do have other cases." Ta'anaf came forward, lowered himself into the chair, and shook his head. "Bondas, Bondas, Bondas! You should celebrate your wins!" Ta'anaf tossed a newspaper onto his desk. The headline stated the news in bold letters. "Wolfman killed." "Doesn't this call for some celebration?" asked Ta'anaf. "I treated myself to some pie," said Bondas. Ta'anaf grinned at that. "You should have come to the lair. I would have treated you to so much more." "You're not my type," said Bondas flatly. The joke took a moment to register. When it did, Ta'anaf let out a loud laugh. "I knew I liked you," said Ta'anaf. He reached into his coat, pulled out a bag of silver, and tossed it onto the desk. "Anyway, there's your bonus, friend." Bondas looked at it and nodded. "Thank you." "You know you're a bit of a hero now. Did you read the papers?" "Not today." "You slipped off before the journalists got a piece of you, but Orchid made sure that they knew who found the Wolfman." Bondas nodded again. His eyes went to the window, and he looked as if he were gazing at some distant vista, though all that lay outside was a brick wall. They sat in silence for a moment. "Oh, come now," said Ta'anaf. "What could possibly be weighing you down? Were you aware of the fact that I found another killer in the process of my investigation?" "Yes, I did hear something about that." "Doesn't it bother you that there is so much evil in this city, in this world?" "It does," said Ta'anaf. "And that is why I fight it every day." Bondas normally would have scoffed at the idea of a corrupt labor organizer and prostitution boss being a champion of justice, an enemy of evil. But today, that reaction just would not come. He said nothing. "But it will never be enough, will it?" asked Bondas. "What is enough?" asked Ta'anaf. "There is no enough. There is only the world that exists if we don't take action, versus the world that exists if we do take action. How many more people would he have killed over the next year if you had not caught him? You don't think that makes a difference?" "Have you ever done anything terrible, Ta'anaf?" The question was abrupt and a bit shocking. Ta'anaf sat forward. "Hey, that's something that an undercover policeman would ask, isn't it?" He smiled because he was joking, and yet he was also serious. When Bondas did not respond, he continued, "I live a life of progress. I try to be a little stronger, a little wiser, a little better each day. I didn't decide where I started from. I only decide whether I keep moving or not. I have no problem looking at myself in the mirror because I know that, all things considered, the world is a better place because of me. I'm a treasure, a fleshy treasure." Bondas thought about that for a bit. "Regarding the other fellow that you found, though," Ta'anaf got to his feet. "There are some alarming things about that story, to be sure. This is another example of how Wild River is a condensed version of the world. We have a bit of everything here. That's why I love this place so much. But it does mean that we have more than our fair share of monsters, am I right?" "Both of those men were monsters, yes," said Bondas. "What do you think will happen to such people in the next life?" Ta'anaf shrugged. "I'm a practical man. Is there a next life? Maybe. I like to think so. Either way, all I can do is my very best here and now. Either the next life will take care of itself, or there is no such thing. I don't know whether or not Yalux is real, but I do know that suffering is real, and I do what I can with that knowledge." Bondas took up the newspaper and glanced at it. "It says here that his name was Mendon Ryder. Or that is the name that he gave to his employer in the union, at least. So did you know him after all?" "No," said Ta'anaf. "He was a member of one of my unions, but no, I had never met the man. He appeared in town about a year ago. No one knows where he came from." Ta'anaf opened the door to leave. "All of that said, Bondas, There is something dark going on in Wild River. These men you found. I wish I could say that they were the extent of it, but I'm afraid that this is just the beginning. You and I, though, we will take care of it, right?" "I would like to think so," said Bondas. "You're one of the good guys, Bondas," said Ta'anuf. "Better than I am, and that's saying something." Ta'anuf tipped his hat at Bondas. "Until next time." "Until next time," said Bondas. Ta'anuf left, closing the door behind him. Bondas put his magnifying glass down, folded his arms, and reclined in his chair. His mind drifted for a while, and then he fell asleep. In his dream he saw the pained face of Celice again. This time, though, he saved her. This time he was the hero.